notice. First of all, I want to say on behalf of the City of Santa Clara, I commend Councilmember Dominic Caserta for making the right decision to resign from office today. His actions have had a terrible stain on our City of Santa Clara, and now we as a city can begin the process to move forward. As mayor, I believe our City Council acted quickly and responsibly in this situation. Next Tuesday, May 22nd, we will begin the process looking at our options for filling this now vacant City Council seat. As a mother with children the same age as Councilmember Caserta's alleged victims, let me tell you, I feel sorry for what you may have experienced. But I also commend you for your courage. It's not easy for anyone, especially young adults or minors, to stand up to people in positions of power. But many of you did stand up, and for that, our community applauds your bravery. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, and we will begin our process of healing and moving ahead in Santa Clara. So I'm available for any questions.
Council is going to try to, was there any way the council could have removed him had he not resigned?
Our actions this evening would be, if he had not resigned, would be to talk about his violation of our city code of ethics, and we were looking at admonishing him and potentially censuring him and asking him voluntarily to step down. We have no power to remove him from office.
In his letter of resignation, he still maintains that the allegations against him are false and that he expects to be fully exonerated after an investigation is complete. Is there any concern that there may have been a rush to judgment and that perhaps we should have allowed the investigative process to unfold?
Well, those who made allegations against Councilmember Caserta did so voluntarily on their own. As a council, we were looking at this evening, as I mentioned earlier, looking at his violation of our city's code of ethics and conduct and looking at what we could do as a city council, which would be to admonish him and censure him. Any other legal or criminal issues would be referred to the district attorney's office. Our council would not deal with those issues.
What would be the violation of the code of ethics specifically?
Acting morally and responsibly as a council member with above ethics. So it's a whole list. You can, hopefully we can get a copy of our code of ethics. It is online. You'll be able to see. We were going to discuss that this evening.
As of yesterday, you said that 9 people had come forward to file reports with the police department. Is that tally still accurate? And do you have more information about were these people that he worked with in his capacity as a high school teacher, on the council, and as someone who was a candidate for supervisor?
Our council is not privy to that information. That would be a question for our police chief in terms of how many complaints have come forward so far. As far as I know, it's still 9, but I haven't checked this morning. So that would be up to the police chief, police department, and the district attorney's office to follow through on any of those complaints and the nature of those complaints.
Mayor, you said yesterday that you think that maybe some of these incidents go back 10, 15, maybe 20 years. How is it that the councilman can function and on the city government and be a teacher in a community without this coming forward or coming out sooner?
Well, I can only speak about his position as a city council member. Any of those comments or allegations about his position as a high school teacher would have to be directed to the Unified School District. But I have to tell you that we are going to ask some really hard questions going forward. We have definite policies and procedures in the city, and we want to make sure that the city council as well as our police department is transparent. And we also respect the public's right to know, but we also want to respect the rights of the victims as well. So we have some unanswered questions, and we want to make sure that there's a thorough and transparent answer to some of those questions about his position as a city council member.
And we're going to take 2 more questions because the mayor needs to go.
Mayor Gillmor, I know that this involves one city council member, the allegations, but to what extent does this cast a pall on the whole council?
That was our concern. That's a really good question. That was our concern and the reason we act quickly and swiftly and responsibly on this issue. And the reason that tonight, even though Councilmember Caserta has resigned, we're still going to go ahead and look at adopting our censure policy. We've never needed this in the past, and apparently we are going to make sure it's in place in the event this happens again. We'll have something in place for the future.
And the last question, please.
With the city code the way it is, with the city code of ethics the way that it is, and the allegations and the accusations occurring for the better part of 2 decades, what would the city council, or what could the city council have done to look into this?
Okay, so the allegations have come from various sources, and anything that has come from the source of the city, we will fully discuss and look into our policies and procedures. I'm not really sure of the question, so I'm going to actually move to another question. Because the city did everything we could the minute we found out about any of these types of allegations. We acted quickly and swiftly and responsibly.
Can you talk a little bit about your options for filling that seat and your initial thoughts on how you want to go forward with that?
So thank you. We will this evening talk about at least referring to our city attorney and our city clerk to bring back next Tuesday the options for filling the city council seat. We have a city charter which specifically outlines how we can fill a seat. So we'll get that information, hopefully some tonight, but more likely the next meeting, next Tuesday.
So do you plan to censor him despite his resignation? Is that?
Since he has resigned from the council, we will not be censuring him. However, we will be putting a policy of censure in place in the event any of this happens in the future. We've never needed it in the past, but looks like we may need it for the future. Okay, thank you all for coming.
So I